General Shankar Prasad, one interesting case, Havildar Rajesh Kumar, 11 Rajputana rifles. He was on the Ghatak team. He killed 3 of the 8 terrorists, was posthumously awarded Shaurya Chakra in that operation. Politicians had promised that they would build a road and put his nameplate to remember the supreme sacrifice of the soldiers. After 6 years, not a single brick was laid. When the administration said, no, we are not even going to give you the money for the construction of a statue, the family came together and built it. This is just an example of apathy. But how is it that senior serving army officers have not picked up the issue? You know, if the several chiefs of staff or deputy chiefs of staff were to make it an issue with the defense ministers, would it have made a difference?
Arnab, first of all, let me thank you for bringing a subject up at the appropriate time when Mr. Narendra Modi's government has just taken charge. So far, what we have learned from this debate is that it is the state governments which are not honoring what they're supposed to do for the soldiers, while it may be correct to some extent. But let me please tell you one thing very categorically, that a soldier, sailor and an airman is the asset of the central government. His employer is the central government, and therefore a soldier, sailor and an airman is the asset of the central government. And if there is any liability on him because of whatever he may be doing or what not doing, is that also of the central government. Let not everybody pass it on to the state governments of Karnataka or Rajasthan or any other state government. In this context, I want to bring it to your notice that the Ministry of Defence has created something called the Ex-Servicemen Department. When some years ago this department was created, it was understood and believed that it will be headed by a 3-star rank of the armed forces, and the welfare of the armed forces personnel serving retired and martyred will be looked after by this department. Unfortunately, this department is headed today by an officer of the rank of a secretary to the government of India from the Indian Administrative Service, who has no respect, no love lost for the armed forces. Not only this, any act or order passed by the Armed Forces Tribunal in favor of individuals is contested by this department of the Ministry of Defence. While today's Raksha Mantri has passed instructions to say that the government of Karnataka will look after this issue, I am afraid we need to look at it at the central level as well. The Department of Ex-Servicemen needs to look into this matter seriously, and while we serve the central government, it is the central government's responsibility to also look after our martyrs, our pensioners, our disabled soldiers and our widows and our war widows and our decorated soldiers. Please, for God's sake, let us get these facts right, that you cannot wash your hands away by saying it's the responsibility of someone else.
I take your point.
It is the responsibility of the Ministry of Defence to whom we serve to save the nation.
But I take your point.
Please see that the Ministry of Defence, Department of Ex-Servicemen works to its full capacity.
I agree.
And let 3-star ranks handle it and head this department.
I agree, but
Only
these are not
to get the dues that we need to get.
General Shankar Prasad, you know, Satbir Singh and Maroof, first Maroof and then Satbir ji, I have just a simple question. These are not complicated things to do, right? So, our defense, our politicians, for example, spend a lot of time, Maroof, negotiating on the big defense deals. Then there are controversies. But as far as the people who run the machines, who fight the machines and who give up their lives fighting for the army, their families are not taken care of. Maroof, this is not a new issue we picked up at times now. You have yourself expressed your frustration over it so many times on previous occasions. So those in the know have known. The point is that martyrs' families have been taken for granted because it is almost like they are an expendable force. They have done what they could for the country, and now the country therefore moves on. So I want to ask you, Maroof, where is the indifference coming from to you and Satbir ji after you, who have experienced the indifference? Tell me, where is the indifference coming from? How can you dare to do something like this and get away with it? I mean, the letter which Padma Sangli picked up today, which she says, I did not have my heart to open, but it gave me a predictable answer. It's not a letter, it is a statement of acute arrogance. Maroof, where is this arrogance coming from?
Arnab, it's a very good question, and that was what I was wanting to talk about. The indifference that comes in our system is, I'm sorry to say, part of a Nehruvian legacy. It was Pandit Nehru's effort after independence to put the armed forces outside the public domain and outside public imagination, and everything that was connected with the armed forces, therefore, was given short shrift. This is a legacy that has translated down successive governments, and it has now become almost a norm. We had a defense minister until recently
What did he
who
do?
was
Nothing.
indifferent not just to this but many other requirements of the armed forces, from professional requirements right down to humane requirements. Let me remind you that at the Siachen Glacier, which is one of the fiercest battlefields in the world, there is a war memorial which says, "Here great courage and fortitude is the norm." And you step away from the memorial and it's written, "How can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods?" It is for that purpose that every soldier goes out into battle, with the hope and the promise that he is given, that you do the supreme sacrifice, your kith and kin will be taken care of. Unfortunately, it has now become part of our DNA to reject the sacrifice of our martyrs, and we will soon reach a stage where we'll not have youth willing to go out and die for this country and to protect its territorial sovereignty. It doesn't matter if you're from Karnataka or Kerala. That man died defending Kashmir. That man died defending some other part of India where he has no roots, but that is his India. He defends the idea of India. And if you are not going to support him in that exercise, this nation must hang his head in shame. I feel very, very sorry because I know of a lot of cases where people and ladies of such distinction who are on your channel today have gone with quiet dignity from pillar to post and have been ignored, and their files have been often thrown on their faces. Is this what this country is all about? You cannot become a great power, Arnab, if your people are not willing to respect your men in uniform, because they will hold up your flag when everything else is down. And our political elite, I have a suggestion, Arnab, that Mr. Jaitley is the Minister of Defense, Minister of Finance, and also of Corporate Affairs. There is a clause in corporate social responsibility which says that veterans' welfare can be added to that. Why can't we add martyrs' welfare under CSR for companies that are looking to do good if they wish to, and they can be given a window to
Absolutely.
look after these families, to support them, to give them more avenues and opportunities. I congratulate you and congratulate the channel, but more importantly, I salute these brave women who have stood up with fortitude against the entire indifference that our society has heaped on them. It is a shame, and we must carry out this campaign till we manage to achieve something which is tangible in nature for these brave women.
Otherwise
Very
all
right,
the
very
politicians,
right,
they
Madhav,
remember
very
the
right.
defense forces just on the eve of the election, just on the eve of the elections, and they use it symbolically. They use officers, ex-officers symbolically before an election. I'm going to end by going back to Shakuntala Bhandarkar and Padma Sangli, but I want to go to General Satbir Singh once again. Sir, in your experience, I'm coming to General Malik also once again. In your experience, what has been the stumbling block? Because as Shakuntala ji and Padma Sangli said, they are empowered professional women who can also, they may have other ways of at least sustaining their families. Now, there are a lot of others who may lack basic means. There may be family members who may not be as empowered. There may be people who may not even have a proper education, may not be able to find a voice. So what the situation is probably worse for many other families. General Sadhguru.
Arnab, I can say this, जिस देश के सैनिक सड़कों पर देश का दुर्भाग्य है. This is the time when we all got to get together. How can you see a soldier protesting to get their rights? Today, your channel, I salute these two Veer Naris and thousands of the more Veer Naris who have given life of their husbands for the sake of this nation. Now you asked, where did I find things going wrong? It is the execution of the system. There is a total slumber in getting the dues processed in the manner they ought to be. If you see, General Malik has been the Chief of Army Staff during the Kargil War. 543 of our brave soldiers, officers and JCOs, they died. They sacrificed their life, and 1,363 were maimed and disabled and had to be disabled and pushed out. Now, where is there was a committee ordered, which was Subramaniam Committee. It had recommended some very solid methods to set things right. Where are those, executions of the Subramaniam Committee report? None has been executed. The first and foremost was integration of the Defense Ministry. Just now, Maroof said nothing has happened.
Why
and
is this
therefore,
so? Malik,
what you find in the states, what you find in the center,
no, I want to ask
there is
General Malik,
no method in this madness also today.
See, I want to, in this case,
that the Defense Ministry.
General Sadbir, what I want in this case right now is that here's an opportunity. I feel Mr. Arun Jaitley is there. There's a new government. If they want, they can actually. It need not be a situation. This channel does this story. In this case, we'll give you justice. In this case, you highlight this story. In this case, we'll forward your request to the state government. It has to be institutional, General Malik. It has to be an assurance.
Now, I just want to say one thing.
A channel can't pick up every single case, and then what about the hundreds of cases which news channels don't pick up? My greater concern is about that, General Malik.
No, Arnab, I want to say.
No, just to General Malik once.
Arnab, I want to say one thing before General Malik comes in. I say 330 districts don't have the soldiers board secretaries.
I get it. I think I understand the point.
The same.
No, I understand your point. I understand your point. I'm going back to General Malik. General Malik.
Therefore,
General Malik wanted to say something. Okay. Just hear him.
Yeah, the basic reason for this apathy and indifference, you asked that, is because there is no stake. These people have no stake in matters of the country. Secondly, the attitudinal problem. Now, unless we correct these two issues, create a stake and also make sure that their attitude, this can only be done by a hard political taskmaster. It cannot be done, it cannot be left to the bureaucracy.
I think that's true.
And therefore, I would expect a strong defense minister, like Shankar Prasad has mentioned about the Directorate of Ex-Servicemen Welfare, etc., etc. And he is quite right, whatever examples he has given, how they are working against the ex-servicemen and not looking after their interests. So you require today a very strong man in the Ministry of Defense to make sure that people are accountable and they have a stake in it.
I just want to ask Mrs. Bhandarkar and Mrs. Sangli at the end, to both of you brave Veer Naris, my only question is, I was very concerned when in our news report, I think it was Mrs. Sangli, you said, I feel like giving up and I've almost given up hope. Now,
Well, Mr. Goswami, I have given up. I have already given up. After 12 years of losing a show,
no, ma'am, you should not give up.
I don't care anymore.
We are there with you.
No, sorry, I'll tell you why. I'm absolutely... No, please listen to me. I'm very, very successful in my own right. I'm an entrepreneur in the city of Bangalore. I run a business and I'm doing fairly well. I've reached a stage in my life where I've decided that I'm not going to beg and plead anymore. I haven't got my dues, so why should I come to them? Why should I go to them? The reason I agreed to come on this show is just to speak on behalf of several other people while also highlighting my cause. That was just the reason.
I appreciate
the system doesn't care, Mr. Goswami, and there is absolutely no accountability. And it is intrinsic. Like somebody said, there is nothing to lose. They just don't care. And we've reached a stage where my suggestion is, take out all these things. We don't need your grants. We don't need your money. If you're really meaning well, you revamp the structure, bring things into effect, make sure it reaches the right people. Otherwise, don't give us anything. Just allow us to live with dignity.
Yes, Ms. Sangli, I appreciate where you're coming from. Ms. Bhandarkar, you wanted to say something. No, Mrs. Bhandarkar.
Also,
Yes,
I must tell you there is
Mrs.
no
Bhandarkar,
vote
the
Mrs.
long
Bhandarkar.
story short.
Yeah.
Yeah. To just cut the long story short, I have a few suggestions for the people who really want to help us. I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimist to the core, and we are ready to give suggestions. We are ready to give our experiences, share our experiences, give them in what way they can help. I mean, to relate to the cause of the ladies and to the welfare of the women and their families. So then what I thought was, maybe we can have a special cell in the CMO and in the PMO. This is to cut it to make it very brief, a special cell for martyrs and whatever the war casualties, and for any other emergencies. We should have a special cell or a window wherein in the CMO's office at the state level and the central level, we should have in the PMO's office, where we just need to give the appeal, and the person who is there, who's heading that cell, would because our system is so very lengthy and so very filled with paperwork that today if the chief minister of Karnataka has said yes, the revenue minister is going to look into the affairs of the martyrs' families and the issues related to them. Till date, the Home Ministry was looking at it. Now you can imagine how many days it will take for the files to move from the Home Ministry to the Revenue Ministry. Yes.
Yeah.
So keeping in mind all these procedural delays, if one window is created at
Yes.
both the levels, at least I feel to some extent the time and the energy would be saved, and to some extent the benefits would reach the people,
Yes.
families on time. There is no point in giving it after the person
Yes.
is at the fag end of his career or his
Yes,
literally
ma'am, I
at the
will-
fag end of his life. She is fighting for that due.
I have to close for want of time because we've exceeded the time on user, but I just want to make one small promise before I wrap up today. We do intend, Ms. Bhandarkar and Mrs. Sangli, that we will pick this up. We will highlight as many cases as possible, because I am of the belief that in our country, unless you really highlight the magnitude of the problem, sometimes people don't wake up. This is my conviction. So we are going to make sure that our reporters cover the ground and show to the people who matter how this is a nationwide problem. It's an endemic problem, and it's been happening for a very long time. And after that, Mrs. Sangli, where I appreciate where you're coming from, there are other people who need that help, assistance, and a helping hand.
A voice, yes.
And on those,
Yes.
on behalf
Yes, we
of all
need a
those
voice.
people, we'll do our bit. And I think, educated, empowered women like you can also step forward, and I will take your assistance and help as we take this campaign forward. With a big thank you to everyone.
I'll do anything that's possible.
Yes.
And thank
And-
you, Times Now.
Thank-
I mean, you've taken up a big cause. Thank you so much.
We have taken it up, and I'll assure you, ma'am, that we've taken it up with great seriousness. Thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour tonight.